This is Laine of the Copenhagen Voice at a meeting arranged by the alumnus of Copenhagen University about the British election. With me is Lykke, who is not just a minister in the present government, but she is also a European politics expert. And Lykke, when you consider that it was Ted Heath, a Conservative British Prime Minister, who brought both Denmark and Britain into the EU in '73, how do you see the development to date? Are they both countries, are they both positive towards Europe?
Well, I think it's a bit difficult to say, to use an expression like positive as such. I think that Europe at the moment is in a big turmoil. We see a situation in Greece that is of great concern, I think, to all Europeans, and it should be a great concern. But we also see two countries that have still a complicated relationship to the European Union. That would be the expression I would use. We know that Denmark has four options to the EU, but still, at the end of the day, I don't think that anybody else could contemplate that Britain or Denmark will leave the European Union.
We don't know the result of the British election yet. It's an hour to go before the first results come in. But how do you see the future in Europe with the three parties we have at the moment?
Well, I would say that if David Cameron becomes Prime Minister, it seems rather likely that he would then pursue a bit more sceptical policy than Gordon Brown. But it obviously depends upon whether he would be ruling on his own or whether he would have the Lib Dems with him, because the Lib Dems are in there. I mean, they're pro-European. Cliques from the Liberals, well, then that would sort of balance each other out to a certain extent. But that being said, I think one should also remember that when Tony Blair became Prime Minister, many thought that this would be a revolution to British politics and the affiliation to Europe. And what happened? Well, we didn't see that. So I think one should also be a bit careful in making too sort of forceful predictions. We rarely see revolutions in politics. I don't think we see a revolution either in British EU politics.
And if the Lib Dems and Labour go together, do you see that as a positive move?
Well, I think that would be highly unlikely considering the statements that have been made. So I don't see that happening as such.
In economic terms, which I know is not really your area, but in economic terms, do you think that Denmark and Britain both have developed in the same way that the European Union has developed way back from the Second World War, which is peace through prosperity?
Oh yes, I mean absolutely, and we have both countries benefited immensely from the EU as such. But both countries are now also suffering from an economic crisis. I think that's what's really interesting about this. We in Denmark now have started to act also with regard to the various sort of messages we've got from the European Union. Britain now will have to act, and that will be the first thing that the new Prime Minister will have to deal with. I mean, how does he get the economy back into shape? And this will be something that will be very, very important for the entire Europe, to look upon Britain as a market as such. It will have an impact for the rest of us.
With Greece, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Ireland at the moment having problems,
Yes.
Is this good or bad for Europe, for the British economy?
Well, it's always bad for Europe when a country is suffering. This is European solidarity. And at the end of the day, if you take the global perspective, the only way that we can prosper in Europe is when we hang together, basically, when we cooperate, look upon the great competition we have from China, from India, and so forth. So I think that was very important that we solve the situation in Greece and that the crisis is not in any way that it bans other countries. Thank you.
Thank you.